In the discussion around abortion and access to abortion-related healthcare, proponents often talked about the direct health risk to pregnant people due to medical complications. Now, this is undoubtedly important, but we also need to talk about the indirect risks to people's health if they don't have access to these services. That includes, by the way, the leading cause of death for pregnant and postpartum women in America, being murdered. Okay, this is an incredibly dark topic, but it has become very relevant as more and more states have limited or completely eliminated reproductive rights. We have this study by the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and they've provided some data on how widespread reproductive coercion has become since Roe v. Wade was overturned. The survey found that 63% of all respondents were pressured or forced into having sex with a current or former partner when they didn't want to. And nearly 40% said their partner threatened them if they said no to sex. Around a quarter reported that their partner pressured them into becoming pregnant, and 13% said their partner used or threatened violence when they were pregnant with the intention of ending the pregnancy. More than 30% of respondents said they do not have access to an OBGYN or physician who focuses on reproductive health. So all of those are terrible concerns, but you can see a significant subset of that group, since they can't get an abortion legally, could well be harmed, attacked, brutalized to try to trigger the abortion they no longer have access to. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you. This is not hypothetical. These are people saying that that's been threatened or that has already happened to them, and the numbers are growing up over time as more and more places make these procedures illegal. I want to give you this quote, by the way, from an attorney with If, When, How, Norin Elzarka, who said, "Since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, our helpline has seen an increase in callers who are weighing the risks of their abusive relationship against the access to abortion. Survivors are being forced to walk the line of isolation and safety to get the abortion care that they need, while also minimizing their risks of criminalization and punishment by their abuser, as well as the state." And so again, like when we talk about people who have seemingly qualified for the exemptions under their states, but they can't actually get it. Women saying that they weren't dying enough to get the abortion that they needed. It doesn't even have to come to you being in the hospital at this point for people to suffer from violence and potentially murder as a consequence of the laws that have been passed. Sharon, what do you make of this?
Yeah, and we've known about these horrific statistics for a long time. Organizations, thoughtful women, people who care and have been through this, many of them. I am friends with someone who started a wonderful organization and fights on behalf of women every day because of her own story. This is proof about who's behind these measures. It's generally white men who are doing this, and the rest of us will suffer at their hands. It's as if they don't understand this because they don't even bother to pay attention. The world revolves around them. And it really is sick and it really is dangerous, particularly when a woman is trapped in this kind of circumstance and an abuser knows that nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. And the trapping is definitely a thing. We have other quotes that are available about people who, one person recalled how her late abusive husband would purposefully impregnate me to force me to abort, just sick on so many different levels simultaneously. Another said that during her relationship with her abuser, quote, "He would force me to have unprotected sex so I could have more children to further my financial and economic abuse, making it harder for me to leave." Now look, being in that situation and being forced to go and have abortions is already a nightmare. But imagine being in that situation, and now if you do that, you could go to prison on top of it. And that is the complete lack of empathy that unfortunately so many state legislatures and senators and governors are acting under. And if we're unlucky after November, we could have something like this at the federal level as well. We just keep none of these, by the way, the medical complications, the people being denied under the exemptions, this sort of stuff, none of this is truly surprising. People predicted it, in fact, when Roe v. Wade was annihilated. But to see it play out exactly like that, to know the human cost of it is just absolutely gross. And it's worse to know that there are tons of Republicans that will completely ignore this, and even if they heard it, they wouldn't care. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?